Hey everyone, finished watching the next episode of Super Megaforce, Earth Fights Back. So the first episode was pretty good. Awkward, sure, but I could see the show improving. Now that we're fully combining Go-Sager and Go-Kaiger elements, maybe we'll get some creative action and more ambitious stories. We get a new opening narration segment this episode. It's still not really necessary, plus it spoils scenes from the finale. A bunch of civilians are helping repair the mall after the big attack last episode. The music is really obnoxious and weird for some reason. It's tonally off. Scenes of smoking city wreckage have the mellow Mighty Morphin riff, while Jake, cheerfully helping Ernie, is topped with a tension sting. What was up with the music editor here? Am I supposed to feel uneasy? Up in space, Prince Vicar discusses further invasion plans with his minions. I didn't talk about the theme last time, mostly because there's nothing to say. It's the same as Megaforce, which itself was almost exactly the same as both seasons of Samurai. That's 4 years of the same theme. 5 if you count Disney's 2010 reversion. A new season is the chance for a new theme. Imagine if Super Megaforce got a new original theme, or even if it was kind of like Zeo, which had original elements but also utilized bits of the Mighty Morphin theme. But yeah, no effort. Anyway, Noah is at the school looking over something Gosei gave the Rangers, a database of Ranger history. You think Tommy's Legacy of Power clip show is on there? Noah says to himself that Gosei told him with each new power comes new Zords. I don't think that's right. From what I recall, they only get a few Zords with any connection to past teams. Go-Kaiger certainly didn't get Zords along with each new power. Mr. Burley comes in and thinks Noah is playing games on the computer. Noah blocks the screen, and I kinda get what the writers or whoever was going for, but I also kinda don't. Do the past Rangers exist in this timeline or not? Since Mr. Burley is into aliens and whatnot, it seems like the Power Rangers would be something he's aware of. There should just be info about them online. Here's a bunch of instances that should be public knowledge in the Power Rangers world. The Mighty Morphin Rangers were on a talk show and inspired a local holiday. The Alien Rangers became media darlings, though their actions might have been erased from memory when the timeline corrected itself. In Turbo, a tour company shows off areas where the Rangers' various battles took place. The Space Rangers revealed their identities to the public, and Lost Galaxy revealed the Astro Megaship was converted into a museum. It didn't stay on Earth long, but it was there long enough to have had its own merchandise. Lightspeed Rescue had no secret identities period, and were well known. Time Force had a Ranger without a secret identity as a member of a paramilitary force. Wild Force confirms that Wes, the Red Ranger of Time Force, joined Eric and the Silver Guardians and presumably has no secret identity. Dino Thunder has a newspaper editor who insists on articles about the Rangers. They presumably never reveal info on their identities, but they are acknowledged. Operation Overdrive had no secret identities and appeared on a TV show. Anyway, back to the show. Jake is wearing a milkshake mascot costume. There isn't really a story reason, it's just funny. Noah shows the team footage on his tablet of some of the new Zords they may get. There's a car, the Megazord but with wings or something, and the Red Lion Zord from Wild Force. Troy is at the beach reminiscing about Robo Knight. Troy walks off and happens across a new monster with some X-Borgs. He overhears them making plans to launch missiles around the world once a timer goes off. The Rangers call Troy, and the bad guys hear his morpher go off. He manages to contact Tensu, who in turn contacts the team. The Rangers make it to the scene and fight through the X-Borgs unmorphed, because it's not like they're in a hurry or anything. More X-Borgs are sent, and they finally morph. Even more X-Borgs arrive, and the team powers up to Super Mega Mode. After a while, they power up again to Legendary Mode, RPM. This time, they combine the Legendary Ranger Mode call with the Morph call. Legendary Ranger Mode, RPM, get in gear! This would be a nice way to handle it, but not every Morph call begins with the Ranger team's name. They fight with the RPM abilities, and Gosei calls to tell them they've unlocked new modes.
New modes that have never been seen before on this planet.
They then morph into things. What are these? I don't know. Were these in Gosei's database? Oh hey, the symbols that pop up in front of them look familiar. Tommy had a picture of them on one of his folders back in Dino Thunder. Is that the reason why these are here? Jake fights with a broom. Alright. Troy powers up to Super Mega Mode and battles the monster and X-Borgs. He gets past them and shuts down the timer. The rest of the team joins and they morph into SPD. Why SPD? Anyway, they destroy the monster, and the Vira fires the Maximizer to make him grow. The Rangers call the Zords and throw the missiles up at the Armada ships. Gosei calls the Rangers and tells them they've mastered the SPD powers and can now access the Delta Runner Zord. With it, they destroy the monster for good. Then they decide to attack the whole ass Armada. The Armada backs off. Later, the team watches a banner unroll at the newly fixed-up mall. It reads, "Earth fights back." This episode's okay. Feels weird saying that, okay. I actually liked quite a bit here. The civilians coming together to help each other and rebuild is a nice moment and calls back to In Space's finale, or the Mystic Force finale. I like Jake's milkshake costume. Why is it a thing? No idea, it's just a weird thing. I recall fans back in the day joking about Jake's cow costume from Raising Spirits and how both of his costumes are milk-related. The villain's plot is actually good. They would have succeeded if not for Troy's moping around, randomly leading him right to their missiles. The modes and power-ups are especially redundant this time. We get the Rangers Morphed, then Super Mega Mode, and then Legendary Mode. I'm actually surprised they didn't keep the Ultra Modes around so we could waste some more time with them. I don't understand why it was so important to keep the Season 1 suits around. Why not just have Super Mega Mode and Legendary? Or, and I know this may have been too ambitious for them, why not have the Season 1 suits and the Legendary modes? They could have been doing this from the start, just with cards unlocking past Ranger powers instead of keys. The fight scenes are good at least. The Legendary mode doesn't seem to have much thought put in, as the Rangers just seem to pick powers at random. I'd call it pure fan service, but there's the Sentai exclusive new powers there. Who's that for? Who out there was a fan of nothing? Yeah, I know, they're the Die Rangers. One of my favorite Sentai series, actually, but what relevance do they have to Power Rangers? They never showed up over here outside of an old commercial, and even there, they're tiny miniatures atop the Thunder Zords and not intended to be seen. The only other thing I can think of is a blink and you'll miss it Easter egg in Dino Thunder. Gokaiger, the footage source for Super Megaforce, has 51 episodes. Surely there was some fight they could have used instead of this, or, and this may be a radical idea, why not just reshoot the scene? They did it in the first episode, why not here? Did all the budget go to Jake's milkshake costume? Another thing, calling the Die Ranger suits, never before seen on this planet, feels a bit supremacist. They're iconic superheroes in Japan. That would be like if Japan had their own show adapting American heroes and introduced Spawn or Savage Dragon as never before seen on this planet. If Super Megaforce actually explored whoever this team was, maybe I wouldn't feel that way, but from what I recall, they never go any further with them than that. Maybe they could have been allies to the Alien Rangers or something. What if we actually had a plot with one of these new Rangers? Maybe one of them could have come to Earth, like maybe the Armada had a prisoner on one of their ships who escapes to Earth and brings along the Ranger keys. The new SPD Zord feels unearned. What did SPD have to do with anything? Nothing about this episode made me think SPD. If only they could have had some kind of connection to SPD, like maybe Doggy Kruger's father is tracking the Armada and has come to Earth to find an informant but bumps into Troy and has an adventure with him stopping the bad guys and gives the Rangers the Delta Runner out of gratitude. Maybe Kat Manx could show up. Her actress is in New Zealand and was in Jungle Fury most recently. She didn't look that different. They could have had her come back for a cameo, especially since it's canon that she's supposedly hundreds of years old or something. For some reason. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. They never did anything with that. Doggy Kruger's dad, I imagine, would look a little bit different than the Doggy we know. Maybe he'd be a little furrier. Something I absolutely did not expect to be reminded of when watching this was 9/11 and the following nationalistic pride and unity among New Yorkers. Yeah, really. The opening shot of smoking buildings in the middle of a dense city and the banner unrolling at the end took me right back to the feeling in New York back in 2001. I'm now curious if this was intentional. If so, what the fuck? I want to make a joke about Mysterious Mr. Enter's turning red video, but I can't think of a way to work it in. Oh, wait. They hit the fucking hexagon! They hit the fucking hexagon! So yeah, I had a lot of problems with this episode, but for some reason I still enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, I would definitely have preferred this episode to go more like my idea, with Doggy Kruger from the Gokaiger episode being used as Doggy Kruger's father, or some relation over here. I'm not sure why he was cut out completely. Saban has weird standards for stuff sometimes. Maybe they just didn't like the Japanese doggy. A few years later, they wouldn't allow Ninja Steel's Gold Ranger to keep his Japanese morpher because it looked like a cheeseburger, and that was just too silly. Ninja Steel clearly wasn't trying to be a funny show. I guess it did make it in as a camera that one time. Oh hey, SPD was in the future, and the 2 times they went to the past, they didn't bring the Zords. So how does Gosei have the Delta Runner? Whatever. Now that we're settled in, here's the cast for the bad guys. The monster of this episode, Cybax, was voiced by Adam Gardner. He previously voiced Camdor back in Operation Overdrive, and you can hear quite a bit of similarity between his voice and Cybax here. He'll return in Dino Charge as Sledge. Prince Vicar was voiced by Stephen Butterworth. He's had some minor roles here and there in Power Rangers. The Prince is definitely his biggest role. Argus was voiced by good old Mark Wright. He's the one that's been in damn near every season shot in New Zealand. Levira was voiced by Rebecca Parr. Megaforce seems to be her biggest role. She's still acting, mostly in independent films and shorts. Damaris was voiced by John Lay, Brownbeard himself. So yeah, I had a lot to say about this one this time. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
New modes that have never been seen before on this planet.